Okay, so I think this is the third time I've started, so I'm going to, that is, God, there is weird stuff happening. There is weird stuff happening. There's something going on, like, I don't even know. But there's definitely something going on. And it's so dark and dreary here, too. Even my daughter noticed, like, last night, she's like, how is it still light? I keep trying to point out to her all this weird stuff. Like, look at this, this is weird, this is weird. I saw somebody sharing a video today where the sky was split directly down the middle. One side of it was darkish, kind of stormy looking, and the other side was like bright and lit up with weird, it was completely weird. And they were like, what in the hell? I've got two different realities here, two different worlds. And this is what it looked like, totally different worlds. But there's stuff, weird stuff happening beyond just the Mandela effect. Like, everything seems so strange. I feel so, this is another day where I feel so freaking anxious feeling. And I don't have anxiety. And I feel like, oh my God, I gotta go somewhere. I gotta do something. I gotta do that. I gotta get up. I gotta, you know what I mean? Like, oh, gotta go. It's weird. So, but my daughter just left, and let me think what I was saying in the other ones. I feel super, super sad, that's for sure. Stella is, I would say, probably like 80%. Like, she's still doing really weird things, still not eating right. Yesterday, she ate just sweet rolls. She'd eat some sweet bread, but that's it from yesterday. But she did go to the bathroom, so I feel good about that. But this constant getting this real anxious, and she's still kind of, listing over weird when she's walking. My brother, I don't know if I already mentioned this, so my brother already is out of surgery. This is his second day, and it's just so weird because, everybody's way of looking at things. Last night, I was just like, oh my God, the way I'm seeing everything is so different than how other people see it. And I seem like the oddball. But to me, they all seem like just completely oblivious or unaware, but like they're living in this Sims reality. It is so much like the Sims. Like, this is everything. This is their reality. This is their world. And I seem like this complete crazy person. So I'm just not saying anything. I'm just going to watch and see how things play out. The doctors say they got 98% of it. My whole thing is, what is it? Where did it come from? Why is it there? Why is it suddenly there? Why is so many people have it suddenly? Why are so many people dying? I saw a thing yesterday. My daughter was showing me. She was on some sort of TikTok thing, and it was the thing I had seen was this girl, and she was talking about, this happened real fast, that she was getting her mom ready to go to her chemo appointment because suddenly her mom was covered with cancer, just out of the blue, just covered with cancer. So she had a chemo appointment. She was trying to get her there. Well, her dad goes in, falls down, has to be rushed to the hospital, goes in the hospital. They say, oh, he's just got a little bleed. He's fine. Everything will be fine. We'll observe him overnight. And the daughter had to rush back, get her mom to this appointment. And then she gets a call from the hospital that her dad has a major bleed. Everybody in the family needs to get there. He's about to die. He's on a ventilator. He's about to pass. So they all have to jump in, rush up there. Her dad dies. She goes, gets her mom to the appointment. The doctor says she's got only 2 weeks to live at the most. That she's eaten up with cancer. This all just happened just super fast. This girl was saying, just out of the blue, super fast. This stuff is happening, and as it's happening to people, it's like that they're just so in the thing. It's like not questioning, like, why is this happening? How is this happening? And, it's happening to so many other people all at once. I don't know. It's just, there's so much strangeness, but I have to just allow everybody to go through their stuff. I can't convince anybody of anything. I was talking to, I was telling my daughter, talking more about the simulation and saying, hey, you're, it's like you're trapped in a movie You're in a movie, but you think that movie is all it is. They're telling you that that movie is your real life, but it's not your real life. You're just here playing a movie. You came in with all your friends, your soul group, so that y'all could come in here and learn from each other. Because everything she would talk about, like what she had going on, I'd say that is because you're learning from each other. You're going through these things so you can learn and experience. There is no right or wrong choice to make. It's just learning from the choice that you do make. So I was trying to, get her to understand more of these concepts. And it seemed like it was definitely their seeds planted, 100%. But she's still very caught up in the world that is provided, just like all of these people. Nobody can really wrap their heads around, like, this isn't your real life. You are in here playing in a movie, and they've trapped your mind to think this is all there is. And it's, I sound like a crazy person all the time. Yesterday, there was, she was talking to her daughter, and her daughter was saying, that she was feeling suicidal, that she was feeling very, what was it called? Not disoriented or disconnected, but the same kind of thing. And I said, well, what does that mean? And she said, I just don't feel like I'm here. I feel like I'm not really here. And I said, well, because you're not. I was like, you're not really here. None of us are really here. And my daughter was like, okay, Mom, go back in the kitchen. I was like, but it's true. We're not really here. Don't take it too seriously. We're not here. This is all just pretend. This isn't, none of it's real. And so then I was talking to my daughter too. I think it was after this or something. We were talking about something else. And I said something like, well, I'm a prophet. And she goes, oh my God. Am I going to have to call and get you evaluated? Like, don't say stuff like that. And I said, why? I already say the TV's talking to me and stuff. I'm already would be considered mentally ill. And I said, but don't worry. I'm not the only one. There's lots of us here. There's lots of us. They already tried that before with one. But no, there's a lot. And I think she was just already like, oh my gosh, do I need to call somebody? Has she really lost her mind? But I kept trying to get her to see, like, this is a spiritual thing that's happening. This is a spiritual transformation. This is, the awakening is you awakening to the fact you're in a movie and who and what you really are. So you can start living your best life. And, it's just so weird. Just like how went there to work on that movie with my brother, and he's like, oh, I wish I'd have a brain injury so I could have time off and work on what I want to work on. And then look at that, years later, and here he is. How many years has it been? I think like 5 years. So you manifest things, you don't know when they're going to happen, but when you're putting your energy towards something, it will happen. Right now, I can't even believe how many rocks are coming up. Like, rock walkways are forming all over my yard. It's weird as can be. But that is the magical universe that we exist in. And, I'm trying to get ready for my trip now because I'll be leaving in a week and a half. And then, of course, my engine light comes on today. I go out to move my car so she can pull out, and the freaking engine light comes on. I'm like, oh my God. I'm already using my house payment to go. And it's like, well, I'll just go up and see. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it just needs the engine light turned off. Maybe it just needs to check something. I'll just have him look at it real quick beforehand so I can kind of see if he sees anything, and then just pay to do that, because I'm not going back on this. I don't care what is thrown at me, at this point. And I'm feeling really pretty good that some stuff's going to go on, hopefully, with the banks this week, because yesterday, my daughter, the youngest daughter, her school loan went zero. So I don't know who all. I told my mom, and she was like, well, there's a lot of people. I think I should apply for that. It's like, Mom, oh my God. Oh, how many times do I say things? I say these things over and over and over. And then you agree. I didn't say all this, but it's like, this is what I'm thinking. I say these things over and over, and you agree. But you're not really listening. You're not really understanding what I'm saying. You think I'm crazy just like everybody else thinks I'm crazy. That, I mean, even in the freaking, that Kali Yuga thing, the cycles, we are going into the golden age. We're going into a time period where we don't have debt. That is a system that has been completed. We're moving into a new state of being. And I can say this stuff and say this stuff, but I'm blue in the face and they just can't see it. My mom will still come back. Well, I think it's 10 minutes till the rapture. We got another 2 years after that of the tribulation. Jesus will be, it's like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. I just don't even know. Oh my God. Oh. I can't wait until I'm more surrounded by people who understand life on the same level that I do, because it is quite exhausting to be so much understanding things on a different level than other people, and to always have that energy coming at you that you are crazy, that you're mental, that you don't understand things. But it's like, Mom, you don't have to apply. This is happening. All debt is going away. Well, I don't know about that, but I sure would be nice if I didn't have to pay this bill. It's like, Mom, it is going away. This system is ending. It's like you can't just watch Fox all day and listen to the nonsense and get all bent out of shape because of the bullshit and the lies you're hearing. You have to look into, why is this stuff happening? What is happening? How much bigger is this what's happening? She's definitely one of the people who is stuck. I still have people come in my comments. I just had a comment today on TikTok. Well, I think that it's starting to really show that the Dems have got a master plan of evil. Oh my God, Becky, please. I don't get what it's going to take. Like, people are not going to wake up until this thing, whatever's coming, is going to happen. I saw Putin now is saying, and I may have already said this, I don't remember, but it looked like he was in front of a big committee. He was on one side of the table and all the other leaders were on the other side. And it looked like he was speaking to the UN or something like that. And then he was saying, and it was hard for me to read, like you can look it up and see, because the writing was so little, but it will look like he was saying that America is doing all of this stuff to them. We're doing this stuff to them, and they are taking it as an act of war, what we're doing to them. And he's not taking it. You don't want to be pushing him. And I know he's a part of the catalyst to waking people up. I mean, they're already on the gold standard. They're already free. It's so funny because, the whole time I was growing up, oh, Russia, anyone in Russia that's like trapped. These poor people, they're slaves to this monster of this place. And, another thing, too, is how many different leaders, are just, they're being killed, they're disappearing, they're sick. There's so much going on, right now. I can't even believe it. So I really feel super hopeful that this week will be the banks, especially because, over the weekend for my daughter's account to go to zero, it feels like optimistic to me. Like we are picking up speed, we're picking up the pace. And, it'd be a beautiful thing if all of a sudden everybody's account went to zero, and that's what woke them up, and they were like, oh my gosh, something good. But just like when the federal government says, hey, we can't tell you what to do with your rights, this is between you and your state, suddenly people think that the federal government is there to protect them, and they want their protection. It's like, it's so strange how everybody just looks at everything so backwards and inside out. And you can't bust through their perspective and give them another one. They're so locked in. That is such a mind trap to keep people's minds just exactly how they want it. And it's all to siphon their energy. When I started telling my daughter yesterday that I said about the luge and the energy and what you really are, and how you're really used, and what this is all about, and you're here to experience, to go through stuff with your friends and learn and grow and go through these experiences, but in this reality that you are an energy source and they use it, and our government even sells it to other beings, and that's where they just always start being like they can't even imagine. When you start talking about other realms and that there's beings around you and you just don't see them because you aren't focused on that. You're focused on this world. And it's just like people can't understand like about consciousness and about reality and about it's where you focus and stuff. Just like the whole thing where her daughter is saying, I don't feel like I'm here. It's like, because you're not here. It's your soul coming away to tell you, hey, you're not really there. Don't stress. It's just, I tried to explain it to her. You're a projection. Your higher self is projecting you, and so it can observe itself, so it can learn. And we're in a giant amphitheater, and we are here for this experience. And this is a pivotal time in human history because we're about to transform into this new age. We're going through this stuff. She was out there, we were sitting outside, and she was, giving me the, I can't believe you don't believe in climate change. Oh my God, mother, science. And so I tried to explain it to her. It's like, no, the earth has cycles. The earth goes through cycles. We're going through a cycle. We are controlled by a certain group of people who make money off of us, so they campaign for these things so that they can make us pay and make us be scared and all this stuff, trying to explain it to her. And, but it's all just, it's not real. They are just trying to get you to pay money. And what was it? We were talking about something. Was it a plant or something? And I was like, yeah, it's killing. Oh, I was sitting there. I was like, we were sitting outside, and I said, oh, I wish that thing would fly back over here. So while somebody was here, so that we could see it with another person. And I turned to look where it was, because she's like, which thing? And I said, that Mothman thing, whatever it was. And when I turned to look, I was like, oh my gosh, I can see through all the trees. Like, when I had turned to look that day, it was so dense. The trees were so dense, it was so hard to see. But when I put that perspective in it, I was like, oh my gosh, all of the pine needles are falling off the trees are all dying. And she started saying something. I said, Caleb, they're poisoning everything. So it's okay for them to fumigate us, poison and kill all of nature to save the planet. That makes sense to you? But see, she hasn't thought that through. She hasn't thought about that. She hasn't looked at the other side. She hasn't seen the evidence. She hasn't seen any of that stuff. It's like all my family, they even, through this whole thing, luckily I did have my mom to talk to. At least she's been open to information. So she has been a lot more open, and I've had that outlet to be able to tell her things and explain things to her and stuff. But now, just when she says stuff back, it's like, she doesn't really get what I'm saying. I think, a lot of people I say stuff to, and they're just like, well, I guess we'll see. And I know for my family, it's always like, well, you've been saying this a long time. It's like, yes, but it is happening. This is happening. We are going through this right now. I saw somebody who was just sharing some chart from Above Majestic, which I watched both of those David Wilcock documentary movies, but now I want to watch it again, because in this chart, that was shown, he was showing from the movie, it was showing about what's going on right now. So I want to go in and watch it again, because I don't remember anything about that in the movie, about this cycle moving into the golden age and stuff. But, you know, all of that is what's happening. It's our earth cycle. It is the soul cycle. It's our real world interfering with the fake world that they created. But the real world, the real energy, what's real, the natural creator, the creation of all things, is becoming in conflict with the reality that they created. Well, their reality loses. It doesn't win. It loses. It ceases to be. And it is crumbling. It's falling apart. Everything is falling apart in their reality. They can't hold it together. And I really think, just the same as Putin, just the same as Trump, I think Joe is 100% a catalyst. You know, he's so ridiculous. So fucking ridiculous. So outrageous. So much nonsense that it is all just about a catalyst to get us to pay attention, wake up, and to tune in. You know, that's the thing. There's so many people are not tuned in to what's happening with other people. I was glad, at least when she was going on the TikTok, that she was listening to other people's stories, but she was listening to people's stories about traumatic events and stuff like that. You know, not so much about what's happening right now, because she really, when I start saying something, she goes, "Oh my gosh, Mom, you've got to stop talking about that letter in the alphabet. That's all a cult to mislead you," or something like that. And I said, "Caleb, that is not true. That is what they are telling you guys, so you won't pay attention to what was being said, because it was never a freaking cult. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was just some posting telling people, go look at this, go look this up, look into this." And people did. And when they did, that's when things started opening up. That's when people started seeing. And there's a lot of stuff you have to put together. There was somebody coming in as a cult leader telling us what to think. They were telling us the whole time, think for yourself, look into things, look deeper. But see, they all think like everything that we talk about just comes from this cult of crazy, that we all started believing, this mass hysteria of, you know, we're living amongst vampires who feast off babies, you know. It's like, no, that is for real. That is really true. That is really happening. That is really what this world is about. And it just gets deeper and darker. She was laying here yesterday, and she was looking on her phone, and all of a sudden she sits up, and she goes, "Oh my God." And I said, "What?" She goes, "There is a funeral home that was taking the dead people and selling them." And I said, "Yeah, I heard about that a long time ago. I heard about that a couple years ago. There's more than just one, too. Some sick shit. I keep telling you, there's some sick shit going on." And so she sits up and she starts looking, and she goes, "Oh my God, it was from 2020. And I said, "Yeah, told ya. There's shit going on." And so then, I don't remember what she said. She kept, you know, because she's still freaking out over the Mandela effect. And she's freaking out because there's some people who don't remember, and they think it was really Oreo Stoofs. Like, it's so weird. You know, just like, mirror, mirror on the wall is no longer. Now it's magic mirror. And life is a box of chocolates. His life was a box of chocolates. All of this stuff, Luke, I am your father, not that anymore. Like, all these things now, risky business. He's in a pink shirt, no sunglasses, and socks dancing. It's like, that's not originally what was there. Like, all this stuff keeps changing. And she is real weirded out by that. But when she sat up, I said, "And just think about this. Why are they selling dead bodies? What is it that they're making money off of? Selling dead bodies. Think about it." And then maybe start thinking about, so Is there a push to get women to empty their uterus because there's money making happening? I would say anything in this world, it's all about money. It's all about greed. Follow the money, and it's the seed to all evil. It's where it leads every time. And it's just so weird as how much people desire this. They'll do anything for it. They will, kill their own mom to have some cash. And it's like, what is the cash? I mean, there's just so much to people selling their soul, and they don't even realize it. They sell it off, and they don't even realize they did. And then they have this emptiness and this pain inside. They have to go back and find out why. They have to go in and do some self evolution, some self, look into what's going on inside themselves. Why they feel the way they feel. But people chasing something that isn't real is never going to feel satisfying. But we have to go through all of this stuff, each and every person, to go through their awakening to move us into the next stage of healing, And it's a lot, and it's slow. And, I know that there is other people who are like me, who do see, and I know I'm not crazy. I know what I'm seeing isn't crazy. Still just knock something over. I know what I'm seeing isn't crazy, so I know it's real. And, the stuff that they tell me is it's so strong inside of me, what they tell me. So I know all of this stuff is real. I know that we really are. Everything happening is for each individual to awaken and heal their trauma and to get themselves into a higher vibration, feeling good about themselves and feeling good and accepting of others. And, it is just a lot. It's a lot. Like, people were so mind trapped. Like, and we've got a ways to go. Like, we still have a ways to go. Like, just when I talk to people or listen to people and see like where their head is at, it's still trying to figure out how to make it in this world. They still can't even imagine, about a soul or anything outside of this world. And that's our whole existence. This is like a sand. This is a sand pebble on a beach. This is what's happening right here. That is how, because in one sense, it's super powerful. It's super meaningful because it's transformative. But on another sense, it is so minute in the whole big realm of things. So it is, it's a super powerful, exciting time. Like, we've got the attention of all sorts of beings in the universe and the energy around us, the consciousness. Everything is focused very much on what is happening here in this solar system, in this planetary reality that we are existing in. But it's a huge transformation. But it's also, everything is really has no meaning to the extent that we want to give it meaning. Like, everything in this world, it's almost like they train people's brains to be way too serious and way too intense. Because, if you're super on edge and intense and stuff, like, you're right on the verge of depression and anxiety. And that's what feeds the beast, and it's what feeds the system. And, all those things are things that people have to witness for themselves. They have to awaken to whatever it is, apparently with my brother, with seeing the messages and stuff, like, everybody over there is very focused on this medical stuff. So, I'm hoping that that starts waking them up. Like, I don't know what's to happen next. And they're saying they took 98% of it out. Is it really going to stay gone? Is it really going to be out? Like, I can't say any of that to them. Like, is other ones already growing? Does he have something else growing already? Like, I mean, I try to get my daughter to realize this one thing, is if you overlook what's being shown to you, it's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter till you see the truth. So things will get more and more hard, more and more intense until you see the truth. So, and they are still very caught up in the Western medicine and stuff. And, they to keep trusting it and not start trusting into your own avatar, your own being, your own connection. That's what everybody has to move into. It's still relying on a system. It's still relying on someone else. And all of the system that you're relying on is just to manipulate you, to trap you into paying money. My daughter is going to go see this band, and I really, really like this band. And the guy, the singer, was gay. He was very flamboyant and stuff, and I really liked him. I liked his very androgynous, kind of flamboyant personality. But now I guess he's changed and he's transitioned. And, that's all cool, fine and dandy. Anybody, you want to switch? Like I've said before, your soul has no sexual identity. That is the avatar. That is the experience that you are birthed into so that you can learn from that experience. So you come in to play a role, play a gender, and then all these people who decide like, well, this isn't the right one. I'm not in the right one, which, right away takes you away from the divine purpose in what is happening in your life. And then thinking like, well, there's nobody really controlling this. I have to come in and control this. And I'm going to go change and become the woman I believe I'm meant to be. And, I really don't care. Like, I completely understand the confusion of gender identity. Like, I went through it as a kid. So I completely get it. And I have no judgment. I just wish that more of these people would see that there's an agenda behind it. That there's an actual agenda. And it has to do with pharmaceuticals. It has to do with procreation. I mean, there's something that they are guiding us towards, the path that they want us to be on. I'm gonna keep messing with my hair. I'm driving me crazy. But the path that they are directing us towards is all towards just this zombie, not thinking for themselves, easily told what to do, no abilities to procreate, sexual confusion, and I think they're definitely, they definitely want their little sex robots, and everything in their agenda just is dark. It's just very dark. And it's very much about abuse and control. And there's people who play along. And it really trips me out because I have seen over this past year and a half or 2 years, I would say probably a year and a half is when I really started seeing how many spiritual people who claim to be spiritually connected, are just playing a part. There is no real spiritual connection, because if you had a spiritual connection, you would understand, you would see something more than what you're seeing. And there's all of these spiritual people who are very much trapped in this three-dimensional world, playing a spiritual part, playing the part of the spiritual person, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. And because it's all about making the three-dimensional world work for them. But this is the end of that. It's the end of this three-dimensional world. And it's just, I don't know, it just really trips me out. like the way some of these people see things and understand things, because to me, I have such clarity. I see it so clearly. And it, it, it's just strange, especially, these people who are leading people spiritually, giving them guidance and stuff, and they have no idea what's happening. And they, I don't know, pretend they do because of ego, and, some of them have a lot of followers, What are they going to do? Come out and say, like, hey, I don't know what's going on here? Or are they just going to keep their followers on the same path? There's like, I don't know. But I think I feel hopeful for this week. I've said it a million times, like, I feel hopeful this week. But things do keep happening. And even though it's slow and, horrible, and I've seen more and more with the sky stuff that is just bizarre. I saw Florida now with this bright orange sky, but it's not like, it doesn't look the same as the chemical sky, because that orange is different. It's almost like a shiny kind of neon kind of color. And these other colors I'm seeing, this red, this green, and this orange sky, is a much different color. So there's all this weird stuff happening, with things splitting like that. Everything in this reality is just falling apart. But the money thing, that's what has me super hopeful. For her loan to go zero, I think I'll probably check mine online, my home loan. Maybe I don't even know it anyways. Maybe it's already gone, I don't know. And, just get my car fixed, and I'm heading to the med beds no matter what, no matter how horrible this drive is. I'm trying really hard not to think about, driving 10 hours a day in a car and then pulling over at a rest stop and sleeping in the back of the car with Stella and then getting up and driving again, and then doing it again, and then getting up and driving it again, and then finally get to the place. And I imagine, so we'll get to Newport sometime in the daytime, but we can't go in till 8 o'clock at night or 7:30 at night. Maybe go down to the beach or something. I imagine you're allowed to take dogs on the beach. I don't know. Before, when I used to go to Newport, it didn't seem like it was that huge. But I don't know. We'll see when I get there. Everything is spread out so much more. So, but then I can get that one night's sleep on a futon. So after that, and then just do it to go back. I was thinking about driving to Spokane and taking everybody their necklaces, but my one daughter where I was staying, she's moving the same week, and she's going to be moving a little bit closer to me. But man, there is so much stuff that I am seeing in people's lives, and the way things are lining up and stuff, like, it's very trippy. It's very trippy to watch things as an observer. And, I can't go saying stuff to people. People just think I'm so wacky. Even though I know I did plant a lot of seeds with my daughter, but it did seem like she was a lot more open to it. Like, there's a lot of stuff I can't say because she would not understand. Like, she doesn't understand the whole point about this taking things out of women's uteruses. She doesn't understand that is become a big business. It's an agenda, and that they definitely put pressure on certain people to do that. I heard this old woman, saying it's mostly white people who get them. Well, I don't know. I'm not down there. I'm not manning every single one of these facilities to see who's coming in and who's getting what. But I do know, if you are a poor person, doesn't matter what damn color you are, you go in, they're going to convince you that you cannot take care of a baby. You cannot depend on the system to help you. And they will convince some of those women to get those procedures. That's what they do. I don't think that you have, you have plan B. You have other things, you know. Every girl, like, ever since that came out, and my daughters were in junior high or high school, it was constantly, oh, so-and-so had to go get a plan B, you know. Every time they'd have sex, they'd run down to the Planned Parenthood and get a plan B. Everybody was on that, so nobody wanted to get, you know, in that state of having their stomach grow. Like, they were very hyper alert to that. If they ever had sex, they'd run down and get a plan B. So, you know, I don't know where these girls are that are supposedly getting where they have no idea, and then they're going in. To me, it seems like it's in places that are poor, where they don't have readily available plan B, and they aren't telling these girls about prevention because they are using them, because they take the stuff and they sell it. Just like they take dead bodies and sell it. You make more money doing that, like to charge this person $10,000 for burying their person, and then you put an empty casket and, you know, sell the body because there's so much being made off of it. You know, this world has been a very dark place for a long time. Yesterday, you know, I did this one TikTok. I haven't done any TikToks really for the past few days while I've had company. But yesterday morning I did this one because it really is weird to me. It's like all these women who, you know, women are supposed to be the ones that have intuition. They're the ones who are supposed to, you know, connected more to their spiritual side. Men are more of the, you know, kind of the protectors of the female. You know, it's like if everything is working right, you know, but everything has gotten out of whack. But the thing is how many of these women who are out here screaming and marching, and, you know, my daughter was saying, they're, you know, the cities are about to be burned down. The women are done. They're going to take it. The world's about to be, you know, burned up by angry women. It's just like, well, I just don't get, you know, women are supposed to have intuition. They're cut off from their own intuition, their own understanding. And why do they want to burn something down and go, instead of just abandoning it and going the other direction? I just don't understand why people can't see. It's moving from the cities. It's moving out from the cities, finding places to take care of themselves and grow their own food and take care of themselves. That is being in sync with the world. I saw this woman yesterday, some guy interviewing her. Is this old woman. She's like 96 or 87 or something. She's old. She's born in 1932, I think. And she is an Appalachian mountain woman. And I love the way she talked. I love the way they talk. It bothers me how people make fun of how some people talk, because I like it. But so she was raised out there, and her family has 212 acres. And the family all lives near each other. There's about 5 generations of family living. And the interviewer was like, you know, she's so spry, like she moves like she's young and stuff like that, and was asking her. And she said, well, her doctor had always told her to eat Jell-O because the gelatin would help her joints. So she's always eating Jell-O. She grows her own food. They grow their own animals. They grow their own food. And the only thing she buys is a big old 25-pound of pinto beans and lard. And there was one other thing that she said that she buys, but everything else that she grows. And she said, this is how we all need to be living. We all need to be taking care of ourselves like this. That is what, you know, these people who think we need to save the planet by poisoning it. No, we need to start taking care of ourselves because the corporations are destroying it. I tried to tell my daughter, they are the ones who are poisoning us. They're poisoning the air. They're putting their pollutants in the water. It's not us. Where are the people doing this? Yeah, there's people who do litter. There's people who are completely disconnected from the earth, from nature, from themselves. But they're not the ones who are poisoning the world. They're not the ones who are destroying the planet. Why? Because they're eating. We were led to this whole grocery store, corporation, world of control, the farms of abuse, the people making our clothes that are held, by chains, forced to work and make our clothes so we can go out and wear something. Like, all of this stuff has been created. But we have to want something different. We have to see, like, well, we don't want slaves making our clothes. We don't want corporations abusing animals and polluting the earth. I can grow my own damn garden. But so many people, they don't even understand, like, how that would fix things. How us just taking care of ourselves will make all the difference in the world. And it doesn't have to be where you're just out there by yourself doing it. You build communities. Everybody plays a role. Like, there's co-op farming. There's small farmers you can just support. There's things to do to build community. And that's the big step that people have to start acknowledging and understanding to move us into a self-sustaining development of our environment. We all take care of it together, and that is where everything starts doing better and blossoming and stuff. Oh, and this was something else too. Also, I guess, and I don't know if it was Haiti. It was one place, and when this stuff all started, and they told this country, well, you're going to have to take this, everybody has to. And they said, no, we use this plant. We use this plant for everything. Nobody has cancer, nobody has any sickness. We all just use this plant, and we're all fine, and nobody has any issues. They killed him. Freaking killed that guy. I mean, he's one of the leaders. But they did him when it very first was starting. So now the other ones, I think, are going down. But there was a lot who were going up against the DS, they were going against the cabal, the beast, whatever you want to call it. That when they first started doing it, they were being taken out and killed. But now I think it's them that are being taken out. It's the bad ones that are going down. These leaders that keep on suddenly, this prime minister's gone, this prime minister's dead, this one has stepped down. All of that, I think, is a sure sign that things are switching. But there will be, I still say, there's going to be something abrupt, some big abrupt thing that is going to go on. And who knows? I mean, this cat and mouse thing with Putin has been going for so long with, like, we're on the verge of nuclear disaster. So, that could be it. We'll see. So anyways, I'll go. I'll be back tomorrow, unless some big thing happens. I just feel super anxious today, but this keeps happening, and I know it's the energy. I even looked yesterday because I was feeling so weird, and the Schumann resonance was almost white. It was just huge, and very intense looking. And so a lot of that energy is why, we all feel this way, but it's all of us creating the energy. It's nature. It's the natural way of everything coming to a head. And man, you can feel it. It feels intense. So anyways, maybe something big will happen today, and I'll come back and I'll say. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.